Hello, it's Graham here from letslearnthis.com. Thanks for joining me on part 2 of the tutorial. Now, really it's traditional now to write what's called a Hello World program where we print Hello World to the screen. But we've already done something similar to that in the last tutorial where we printed the result of 10 plus 10 to the screen. So I thought we'd kind of stick with a Hello World, but we'd make it a little bit more complex and have a play around with variables as well. So let's get started. Click on Start, All Programs, Python 2.7 and idle Python GUI. Okay, so now we're in the shell here. We're going to click File and New File to open up an editor. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do here then is print something. So we're going to say print hello, my name is Bigus. Okay, so if you remember to run this, we hit F5 and it asks us to save the file first, which we'll do. And then the shell opens up and we see the result, hello, my name is Bigus, printed to the shell there. Okay, so that's good. So now we want to mess around with what's called a variable. If you imagine a variable to be, say, a bucket, and you can put something in the bucket and it will stay in there until you need it, and then you can use it. Or imagine if you were writing a letter and you had a rubber stamp that had your name or signature on it, then it would just stay there until you needed it and you finish writing the letter and stamp the letter, and it would be much faster because that value's already in there. Anyway, that might be a bit complex, but let's see what that actually looks like in our Python program. So we're going to make a variable called name, and we're going to set that equal to Bigus. Okay. Now we can change our print line here to say hello, my name is space, and then we can use the plus sign and then pop our variable on the end there. Okay, so here we've got a variable called name, and that's going to hold this string which we've set to be Bigus, and then we're going to print it, hello, my name is, and we've added it on the end here, so we should hope to see hello, my name is Bigus. So let's test it. Hit F5, OK to save it, and there we go, we get the same result there. But we didn't actually write that word Bigus in there. It used the value inside that variable name. Okay, so let's go a step further then, and imagine we want to use that name actually inside the sentence rather than just on the end. So how might we do that? We could say hello plus name, so that would now say hello and then whatever in the variable name, in this case Bigus, so hello Bigus. But then we want to carry the sentence on, so what we need to do then is use another plus sign and another string inside some quotes. So hello Bigus, or hello name, how are you today? Okay, so let's run this. F5, and there we go, hello Bigus, how are you today? Okay, so that's great. So now we're using a variable, we've used it on the end of a string, and now we've put it inside the middle of a sentence like this using the plus signs. And you notice here that I put a little space. Now what would happen if I didn't have the space? Well, it would just join it straight on, so let's just check that. You see here hello Bigus, but there's no space there. It doesn't know to put in a space, so you have to tell it. Okay. Right then. So now we've covered quite a bit of ground. We know about printing, and we've used a variable. Now what happens if we do something like this? So here we got name equals biggest, name equals pilot, and then print hello name, how are you today? Now which of these two names do you think will appear in here? Well, let's test it, shall we? If we run it, we'll see hello pilot, how are you today? Now why did pilot go in there and not biggest? Well, they were both in there at some point, because first the name variable was set to biggest, but then it was set to something else. It was set to pilot after that. And so when it gets down to the print line, the last one it's seen is name equals pilot. And we can prove this by copying this line here and pasting it up there. And so it's going to go down the program. It's going to say name equals biggest and then print it out. And then it's going to set the name variable equal to pilot and then print it out again. F5 to run it. And so we see now hello biggest, how are you today? And then hello pilot, how are you today? So that is a result of what we did up here. And then we set the variable to something else. And then that's the result of that there. Okay, so what if we wanted to use both names in there? Well, let's try it. We'd need two different variables, wouldn't we? Because we can't use the one because we change it here. So let's have this one as name2. And then we'll say hello name. Have you seen? And then we'll put on the end of there name2 and we'll run it. Hello biggest, have you seen pilot? So now we're using two variables in this printed string. And we could change the names here to be whatever we want. Hello Jim. So hello Jim, have you seen Bob? Okay, so you've learned quite a lot here. You've learned how to set a variable, what a variable is, how to use it, how to use the print command, and how to use two different variables within the same program. Now it's really worthwhile going off and having a play with this, using your own variables, printing them out, and just see what kind of problems you come up with and see if you can solve them. Because it's going to become very important over the next set of tutorials, because variables are used everywhere in programming. It really gets exciting, you know, what you can do with them. So go and have a play, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to follow along with the whole series. Thanks then, bye bye.